Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Shock co-stream of the match today versus Titans. Hope you're all ready for hopefully a good match here. We would obviously like to see Shock 3-0. Before we start with that, I'm Jeff. That's also Jeff. And we are here ready for the match, which should be starting very shortly. That timer felt like it took a while. There, huh? But yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. How do you feel about everything coming up here, Flats? Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think we'll definitely have to see how that plays out, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the match goes. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm not sure what the maps are yet either. Good question, Flats. Good question. I think we'll see the maps here shortly. The match should be starting. The other match went a little bit longer than expected. Actually, both matches went longer than expected today, so it's running a little bit late. But yeah, it hasn't been. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the matches. Yep. No, I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. Good call. So, hello, everybody. Hope you're all ready for the co-stream today, though. I've been having a ton of fun with these. Last week, we got to see Shock play versus the Gladiators, which I thought was a really exciting matchup. And to be able to kind of see, how they were able to come back from that 0-2. Hopefully, we see a little bit better of a response. I mean, a better start this time, that is. Because, that was such an amazing match. Like, 0-2 to 3-2, down to the last team fight on a Koth. Like, that's what we love to see. What did you think about that match, Flats? I think camera is this one. Wow. That's great insight. Thank you, Flats. I appreciate that. All right, perfect. So we learned a lot there on that one. In the meantime here, we're still waiting for the match to start. I think at this point we are waiting for the match to start here. We kind of thought it would be starting here in a second, as we saw with the timer, as the timer kept maybe increasing to 2 minutes every single time, every 2 minutes. But yeah, we're just chilling. I hope everybody's having a great day today. And it looks like we're finally getting to the match. Oh yeah, they gave us the nice 4-minute timer to go into the next match here too. So yeah, this is great. It's wonderful. But yeah, no, I think you bring up a good point in that one, Flats. But I think as long as they play the way that they've been playing comp-wise, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. We have 4 minutes of this coming up here, so like, I'm gonna be real with you, chat. We're just gonna be sitting here just talking about anything in the meantime until we hit the timer they have for the match to start, because the other match ended like 20 minutes ago, so I thought this match would be starting here, but now we're kind of chilling, and this is kind of where we're at. So, usually we can be like, oh, we can do this. He said, make a tier. I could try to do a tier list, but I already did a tier list last time, and that tier list is pretty much exactly where I thought it would be, outside of Reinhardt probably in the A tier instead of S tier, but I don't really remember if we put Reinhardt in the S tier. I really don't remember where that tier list was at. No, I agree, Flats. I agree. I think Ryan in the A tier now is probably what we're going to go with. So, yes, actually, somebody actually asked where Sully is. To no surprise, Sully has decided that he's going to take that chair for now. So that's where he's currently at, which is, classic Sully. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this matchup because I think next week is the start of and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think next week is the start of kind of like their playoffs for this first tournament. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's like the first matches with that, and obviously Shock I think is still going to be the #1 seed regardless. I could be wrong. That might change with map differential if for some reason Shock lost 3-0. But not only does Shock get to be the #1 seed for that if they win this, but they also just overall get to keep on winning. And to see a 5-0 start already is really cool by Shock. Obviously, a strong start to this season was going to be important for Shock, And Shock really wants to dominate this year, right? They want to win as many matches as they can. They want to win it like, Shock, has a lot of the time. So I think it's going to be hopefully a good matchup across the board. And I hope they're able to get a 3-0. But we've seen some crazy matches before. We've seen some crazy matches before. So, but it looks like we're getting closer and closer to the match start time. I think. Let me see here. But it looks like it's gonna be about a minute. So then they'll probably introduce the roster, and then we'll go right into the first match, which I don't remember what the first map is gonna be because they haven't really told us yet. So we're just kind of a wait and see. But the match should be starting in about a minute, or at least we're gonna get to the point where we're gonna see like the casters and kind of like what they're talking about and all that in general. What is your prediction for this matchup, Flats? Okay, that's a good prediction. I think so too. I think so too. I got better that time. See, I went the right way with where the camera would be at. So if I'm looking towards the camera, it's this way. So we got it right that time. Because before I was like, what if I look this way? Then I realized that the way the camera is, if I look this way, I would be able to see where he's at. So that's why I did that time. So that was great. I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at that. That was great. And it looks like it says their coverage continues in about 5 seconds here. I don't know if our timers are exactly the same, but it should be starting here in a second. Wait. Okay, I think we're getting there. Okay, so about 15 more seconds, and it should start popping up with apparently a video now. I think with a video now, so we'll see what happens here shortly. Almost time. It's almost time. I'm looking. Okay, they're doing like one of those replays right now of OWL. They're definitely waiting to start this match. But we'll see. Listen, we've been going. How long has this been going for? It's been great. Listen, I think we've done a pretty good job right now of getting this to the match here that is supposed to start at 6 p.m. Eastern. This is great. Oh, there we go. I don't hear anything, but I'm watching this.
Double Reapers arrayed against them. Come to a point and dare to face our Goth army.
Oh, the Shock.
Right, here we go. We're good to go.
They sow the coalescence to pressure the gladiators back. The Soundbearer used to counter the death blast of duplicate of Sam.
It looks like they're doing like a top
99% for the Shock if they win it.
plays.
Here. It won't be it. Proper.
Oh, and this was such a great ending to the match.
The gladiators fall.
What a great match.
It's not shields up. It's brooms up. Shock will take the game 5.
And that is
what a match that was.
Of tactics and
what a match that was.
Play from the San Francisco Shock.
Victoria shifting its attention from playing with his team is where Boston looked their best.
Watch this.
Now with this fight win, and they
Soldiers haven't, seeing Soldier being played in some of these matches has been really cool because we haven't seen a lot of Soldier, especially during Overwatch League. Pretty much since Overwatch League has been out. So to see Soldier being played has been really cool. Now, obviously that probably will change, but
Boston have flubbed the bag. I can't believe Happy clutched that.
Hello.
What happened?
I'm gonna need an emergency brain.
I was trying to watch what happened there.
After headshot from Happy coming out at the end of King's Row. I'm getting the weirdest feeling of deja vu right now. And Boston Uprising are feeling pretty miffed.
So it looks like they
just happened. He crazy, man.
I wonder when they're gonna start the match soon. Probably after this is my guess.
But now they have to push the payload into OT. Shenga reclaim high ground. Burnos on the
like I said, seeing Soldier 76 being played a ton is great.
But the rest of the team's cut off. Look at Iron's positioning. He's still back in spawn.
Wait.
Yeah, Alpha, you're gonna get jumped on here.
Actually, I haven't seen this play yet.
Gonna pop that.
Oh.
Put a lot of heals out on it in the nano boost
I would
well.
say that's a pretty good play.
1, 2, 3
especially in
kills.
overtime, I would say this is about as good as it gets. That's about as good as it gets for an overtime play.
It's the ace to go ahead and close.
I love Lucio there. So what's the number 1 play then? If that was the number 2 play.
Spiker playing from his side of it until he gets close enough to get at the Ryan shield. Sound barrier for both sides, but Pelican not benefiting from it there. Another big shatter from Hardy. Beautiful stuff.
The big slam.
Merritt's knocked to the ground, and Piggy's not long after him.
Woo!
Cleaning house this man on the Ryan Hard.
Okay.
Ooh, I mean, 5 kills? That's filthy. That's Hardy for
That
you.
was a good play.
Hardy representing main tanks everywhere.
That was a good play. Wow. And we're back because we are now currently waiting for the match to start, which apparently the coverage continues in 5 minutes. Okay, well, here we are, everybody. All right, 5 more minutes. Oh, well, what a treat. Okay, so, yeah. You know. Okay. Okay. Yeah, am I actually sure right now on what the delay currently is? But I'm looking at it right now. It says coverage continues in about basically 4 minutes because it's a little bit on this timer's a little bit behind. So, yeah, I think we're just going to kind of wait and see. Now we're going to be sitting here talking. So, here's where we're at. Here's where we are at. As we wait for this next match to start. But it's okay. Listen, we have queues sometimes at, you know, around this time, so we're gonna chill and just talk to the chat here, okay?
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay? We're just gonna chill here and talk to the chat. Okay, we're almost there. Sorry for the delay, everybody. They haven't said why there's a delay on it, but my guess is after this next timer, which says 2 minutes and 42 seconds. I think the timer on mine is probably 20 seconds past that, so about 3 minutes. No, apparently there's a... Yeah, apparently there is a timer here that says that the Overwatch League speed run record is actually against the Titans of 19 minutes and 23 seconds. We had that that little AM/PM, yeah. That was a couple years ago. That was a couple years ago. So, I don't think we'll see that today. I remember how quick that match was too. That was a really good matchup at the time. But I think that, I mean, I think right now we're at that, getting to this match. Honestly, at this point, is there something, you know? Oh wait, what do you have to say about that, Flats? I mean, wow. Yep. Okay. Understandable. Have a nice day. Okay. Woo. I mean, you know, I was surprised, but yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things where, you know, hopefully it ends up being a good match here. I guess we'll have to see. All right. We are at about 1 minute and 35 seconds here. We're going to be waiting here on this timer. We're almost there. It is almost time. We are getting there. We are getting there. I'm glad Flats finds this so funny right now too. But listen, this has been 10 minutes of timers. I think we've been live on here for about 15 minutes. So this is going great. Listen, we are almost to the point of this match starting. This has been, to be able to do this the whole time, as we've been, we could say filling time here to get to the match that's about to be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. We are almost here. We are ready. The timer is currently at 35 seconds. It is time for this match to start. I am ready. I am ready. It's almost there. I think it's time. Here we go. I'm ready. It hasn't started yet. It's a video on a push map. I mean, at this point, we are committed to this. It's gonna start soon. we are committed to this. It's almost time. It's almost time. We're waiting. This might be. They're showing a shock video. I mean, not a shock video, a push video right now. It's almost time. Listen, I am committed to get into this match with this amount of fill time that we have had. Okay? We are, it's almost time. I can't wait. Also, are we actually able to show the video they're showing right now?
Checkpoint where it then starts
There it is.
to push a
Perfect.
barricade and
Oh, okay, there we go. We're learning about push.
Control of TS1. The other team can start advancing in the opposite direction and towards their team's barricade. TS1 is but a humble servant and only does what he's told. TS1 does move faster when he's not pushing a barricade, so he's quite nimble in between enemy push points, and this definitely allows for greater momentum shifts. Players have 8 minutes to push their team's barricade to the end of the road towards the enemy spawn and win. If neither team's barricade reaches its end goal in time, then the team who pushed their barricade the farthest distance
This is great.
has control of TS1.
It's almost match time.
The game
Hope you're all
enters overtime
enjoying.
if control of the robot is contested, or the team who currently has control of TS1 does not have the farthest distance pushed. Overtime ends when the team with TS1 loses control of it, or when the team with control of TS1 pushes their barricade to a distance exceeding their opposition's. What's fun about these brand new maps is that Colosseo and New Queen Street have their main path, but they also have lots of twists and turns, shortcuts, and high grounds. So players can flank and
I will
find new
say
ways
that
to
push
cut off the
match
enemy's forward
we watched
progression
Shock
easily.
play against Gladiators
Really
was
is
so
all the
good,
aspects
and I
of
love the idea and strategy that they had when they backed away from it. One thing that we're seeing with push more as we get there,
There's bound to see some great action this
especially
year
with
in the
push, is
Overwatch
like the
League.
strategy has
That's
changed
all
a
you
lot.
need
How
to
the
know
map
about
control
push.
is.
Stay
A lot of
tuned
teams
to
will give up the
Overwatch
point on
League YouTube
purpose
channel
to get a
for
better
all the
team
updates
fight.
around the Overwatch 2
So,
PvP beta and of
which I think
course,
is really
all
cool.
the action of the Overwatch League.
I think we're finally at the match.
Welcome back. Yes, someone different is joining me right now. Unfortunately, Rose had a small issue with her PC, so we had to rope
we
in
are.
somebody, and that's someone.
It is.
Johnny.
I'm so sorry, guys.
It is match time. So it seems that with the PC crash, and they had to try to get that working, but looks like Reinforce is going to be joining Jaws for this upcoming match. Okay. Now we know why there was a bit of a delay there.
I know. I also casted with Custer.
It's time. Soon, because we have to wait a second for the video on this. So, all right, listen. We are almost to the match, okay? You hear that, Flats? We're almost at the match. It's about to be starting here in about... There's no timer yet. My guess is probably about 1 minute because the players are probably ready to go. Everybody's probably ready to go, so we're going to see that really soon here in a second. And it looks like they are showing the lineups now. If we're able to get the lineups up on the screen here. And we can see who's playing on each team. Which should be a second. And then we'll be able to kind of have an idea.
They need to find a dub, Johnny.
And here we go. As we can see, we're going to be seeing the lineups. Obviously on both teams, this is Titans lineup. Which, you know, they have a lot of really good players. So I imagine as the season goes on, they're going to start improving a lot too. Because they have really good players. And I'm curious to see how the match goes here. It's going to be one of those, like, in my opinion, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, we're finally getting to the match, everybody. Thank you for waiting. Obviously, we didn't know there was gonna be the downtime in between that, but here we are. The match is finally starting. Let's see, how both teams are ready to play. I think most importantly here, especially with, Shock, I think Shock wants to get in here, try to go for a 3-0, and then get ready and prepared for the playoffs that's upcoming, because there's going to be some good matches, some really good matches, and obviously the biggest thing for Shock right now is to continue to get that chemistry down as a team, continue to play as well as they have been playing, and, really start to kind of know how they want to take these team fights. We saw a lot of that in the Gladiators match where, even though they started off real slow, not even slow, they just lost like the first match, which was pretty close, and then they lost the second map, which is pretty close. I think for them, they want to get off to a good start now, because obviously that's important in a lot of these matches. Get off to a really good start, keep doing everything they need to do, and just try to get that dub. And we saw it last week, where it wasn't the best start to their matches, close matches, and then they ended up just absolutely, I was gonna say dominating, but it was really close matches all the way up until that fifth map. And it was really exciting to see too, especially with the strategy they had when they played push. I love seeing them back out there. So yeah, that was really, really cool. That was really, really cool. But it looks like the first match we're going to have is on push, which one thing about push matches is that, or something that I've noticed with push matches, they can be really quick matches, or they can be, 8-9 minutes, depending on overtime spawns, right? Or how long an overtime goes for. So if Shock is coming out to play here, this could be, if they play this the way they want to play it, this match could end quickly, but I don't know if it actually will. And I think we do need the sound for this in a second.
Finn also just
and there we are.
Incredible. And Kaluj,
it's time.
Addition to the
Chat.
roster.
Thank you for waiting a bit there. I know that was a little bit long. I think we started the stream about 30 minutes ago. The match is starting. It is time. Get ready, everybody. We're going to see how this match goes. I'm ready to see. So, one thing we saw a lot of recently, especially in OWL, is we're seeing a lot more Zarya being played now. So obviously a lot of teams are running Winston. We actually saw a lot of Zarya being played. So I wouldn't doubt it if we see a shift in that meta with Zarya, or we see different teams running different comps, whether that's with Winston or with Zarya. So that's actually something to look forward to in these upcoming matches, especially. And if you look, as we say that, we have a Zarya versus Zarya matchup. Has the meta shifted a lot? We're seeing Zarya. This is actually one of the first times I've seen them play Zarya, if I'm correct.
So maybe this is a bit of a preview of what they got in store in their pockets.
But yeah, this is interesting. One thing we're seeing a lot at the beginning here is both teams will kind of just chill and wait for something to happen. Mainly because you don't really need to get the robot pushing right away. The idea is to kind of get that map control, start building up your ult charge. It takes a bit to even get the meters push. It has to touch, if you look where they are right now, it has to kind of go up to where that wall thing is. They have to, then when that starts pushing. So there's a little bit of time at the beginning where about build an ult charge. Teams don't really rush in because the map doesn't really kind of play around rushing in right there. Does that make sense? So it looks like Shock is going to give up the early start on that, mainly because they can't really play aggressive into the Reaper. If I'm correct, I did see a Reaper there, yes. So they're not able to kind of go right into the Reaper comp. So they want to kind of play a little bit slow and wait for the Titans to start to make a play off of that. And once the Titans do make a play, because they have a little bit more of a defensive comp, they can then make a play off of that, which is, if you're looking, they're running Echo. In theory, they might try to rush in. Actually, they are going to rush in because they do have Nano. And what we're seeing right now is Shock kind of understands what their idea is, so they're going to play passive until they're ready to take the team fight they want to, which it looks like they're about to hit that moment now. They're able to use Beat there. They had Beat a little bit sooner because they had the damage going, and then now you're seeing Shock push in. You're seeing them get those picks, and they did exactly what they wanted to do. Shock knew they wanted to play that passive. They're going to get a huge grab now. They're going to be able to get probably both picks in there because they already had used Beat early, and it looks like Shock will be able to start turning this around in a second here. Even if they lose Zarya, but they don't, which is good because they're able to keep the energy a little bit more, which I think is exactly what you want going there. Obviously, the energy is a little bit different now in Overwatch 2, so you lose it a little bit quicker, but you obviously want to keep that energy. It's better to start with, like 50 energy in the next team fight. So what we can see now, by the way, too, especially, is Shock actually has a lot of really good ultimates. If they can get aggressive here twice, they might get a lot of push time. Because a lot of teams want to take this early fight here so they don't get the spawn timer or get the increased spawn, so they're stopping them right there, which we see a lot of in this map so far. And it looks like they are going to be able to just use Soldier Ult here in a second, which they do. They don't have the combo with that in general, but they are going to be able to get a little bit of map control and might be able to get a pick or two. They are able to force Reaper to use Shift, which is pretty good in this team fight, especially with how slow the fights are going. But actually, Titans get a pick. Shock's going to have to back up. And it looks like actually Titans might be able to take that. But Shock is not really upset with where they push that at. One thing we saw in some of the previous push matches especially is that teams are okay with getting it to there because they're able to get back in time and stop that. So Shock did use a lot of ults there, but they do have beat again, so when they do go for their Reaper ult play, they might be able to counter with beat, unless the timing is almost perfect for Vancouver.
Nano to work with.
Absolutely, and I mean, again, this is probably where I want to see the Titans push the pace. Violet's going to get another sound barrier after using it so quickly to start off this map, but you're playing the Reaper Sora composition. Now would be the time where maybe you want to nano aspire in and apply some Sora bubbles onto him.
Yeah, just once again, we're seeing this very slow play style right now. Because both Zaryas can't be too aggressive. That's like one thing we see. Wow, that sleep, great teamwork. But the timing actually, they weren't able to get beat. So because they weren't able to use beat, it looks like Titans actually might be able to take an early lead here. What I mean by, obviously early lead is that for Vancouver, with the way this map plays, the more they can get at the beginning here, especially with how Shock's play style is, the better for them, right? That's the biggest thing for them right now. They know that eventually they're going to have to back off here, so if they can get it to, 47 meters, 50 meters, they're going to be happy with that. They're going to be willing to give this a Shock too, but that's a huge sleep coming out of Shock. Obviously with the bubble timings, but...
Give me more snipers.
Yep.
Speaking of snipers,
they do have a big Soldier Ult coming here. I'm not sure if they're going to get a pick. They do get a pick, and it looks like they are able to take a point back a little bit. So.
Aspire, WM1, yeah, it works if you're not light years away. Shocker regaining control. Are we going to see some crazy hands though? Like, this is a pick we don't normally see, Johnny. I mean, maybe grab dragons. Remember that old?
But yeah, this is
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what the ultimate's going to be right now out of Shock. I feel like they're going to nano. Do they nano Zarya here and just get a good grab? Because they might just do that in general. If they win this team fight though, they're going to get a lot of push. They're going to get a lot of push, and they know that too. So they're going to wait 1 second. They want to get the perfect ult for them here. They do have a lot of ults. Like, they have really good ultimates, but so does Titans. If Titans play this right, they can actually combo with Reaper ult into the grab. But they get the pick right away. Wow. Oh, actually, with the change now, I don't think Reaper can get out of the ultimate if I'm correct. So that's actually a really good ult. If they know they have Reaper ult too, being able to do that's a huge play. And they do nano Zarya. I think that's the play in general because you look at the nano targets they have. You could, yeah, give it to Soldier maybe, but Zarya can get some more ult charge and do a lot of damage, especially with the consistent high energy. That's exactly what Shock goes with. Shock now has beat to be able to counter the Reaper ult they have coming up, but they do have nano Reaper. So, but when you see this happen, that is exactly what you want for Shock, being able to get the Ana to prevent that play, which actually gives Shock a slight advantage now to be able to build up their ultimates because they don't have those ults. So now they're going to be close to Hanzo ult and Soldier ult too. Obviously, Titans will have the opportunity to make a play here, but Shock is very happy with where this push is at right now. It's really hard to push the robot this far to begin with, especially what we've seen in matches. So if Shock is able to win this, I could see them pretty much winning the rest of the team fights because they're not going to be able to do much of their ults. And wow, they aren't able to get beat, which is... I think their play they wanted to do there was just to disengage the play and then go in. But, Shock is still pushed it pretty far. If Proper can actually get one more pick here, they might be able to actually turn this fight around. Even without that, looks like Titans do use grab, though.
Kilo dies, Kalush dead, and now Proper's gonna fall, but not quite yet.
Oh, wow.
He's not done. Massa dead.
Oh, wow.
Finally, someone kills the Hanzo. Not before he earned himself a Dragon Strike, mind you.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's the ultimate distraction. Ultimate distraction, absolutely. It's got that Dragon Strike now as well.
Now it's coming down to ult time in here. It looks like they do have
I'd be boomed for like 20 seconds.
Soldier ult
to work with, but you need
and Hanzo ult, and they might have grab in time. It really doesn't depend on this grab. I like this play by Shock early because they're going to force out some of the ultimates of Titans if they do have them. Because at this point, Vancouver knows they need to be able to win this team fight. If they don't, they're not going to be able to really contest them in general. So as long as Zarya is able to survive for Shock here, it looks like they're going to be able to turn this. They can just get a good grab combo here. They already saw one bubble with Fuse, which means this combo will probably be a little bit better. Even if Zarya's by themselves, I wouldn't doubt if they actually grab Zarya. Yeah, I was going to say. Because Zarya can die there. Once Zarya's dead there, they have no opportunity. That's something that we used to see in OWL, especially during, we saw, obviously the 3 tank, 3 support. A lot of that used to be you would just solo grab somebody because it's always pretty much a one-team fight. Unless they have a really good counter, if you just solo grab somebody and they're out of position, or not even necessarily out of position, in a good spot to grab them at, which is what we just saw by Shock. I wouldn't doubt it at some point Shock pushes this at one point, because they feel like they can fall back for a second. Actually, it looks like Soldier's on the flank, though, for Titans.
I don't know where he is.
And I think Shock recognizes this. They know. It's going to be a 1v1 on the side of the map somewhere.
Proper knows where he is, though. You can kind of see in the bottom left. Oh.
We'll see.
Stop this man. If he gets
We'll
this
see.
kill onto Scarippa. No way! Scarippa dodges out of the way just in time. Master now in trouble. Sonic Arrow attached to his leg, so he has to run for the hills. He's spotted from a mile away. Nice nano and beat in response. The Titans just want to take control of the backline, knowing Proper is just doing.
Oh, wow. I'm actually surprised Titans took that.
To finish it off.
I think Shock, though, does have good ultimates, but this is pretty much coming down to a last team fight situation. But I'm going to be honest with you, Titans' ult timer is, or ults right now are really strong. They're not going to have grab on Shock, but Titans do have Reaper ult and grab coming up.
You can't try to contest this high ground advantage. Now, the Shock, they have the sound barrier to work with. Kilo's about to get a visor as well. How are Shock going to respond there?
Oh, but wait a second. Zarya's one. Gonna have to grab. That is not the ideal grab they wanted either, because they do have B. And just like that, Shock saw the opportunity, was able to get the pick, and that's pretty much gonna be it. Wow. That was surprising. I thought the ults were gonna go a little bit more advantage in Titans, but it actually didn't work that way. What a play.
False was on 20 HP.
Wow. What a play.
Almost tug of war against
what a play.
Fifth grader in that kind of match, like the San Francisco Shock.
Wow, that was a really good first map. Honestly, though, I feel like Titans played that pretty well. How do you feel about that one, Flats? Yeah. No, that makes sense. I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, that was a lot closer than I think a lot of people thought it would be for, like, the push map. That it came down to, that was the full 8 minutes, a little bit longer of... Surprisingly, that was really well played by Titans for a while. And honestly, if they had a good ult combo at the end right there, that could have went a lot different. That could have went a lot different. That was a good first map. That was a good first map. So. Wow. That was very, very well played. That was very well played. Good job by Shock. Obviously, what we want to see out of Shock is them just winning the first map, which they did. A little bit... I think, like, ideally, they would have liked to just complete the whole map as fast as possible, but sometimes, you know, for them, they were able to play the comp. That's the first time we've seen them run that comp recently, which is the Zarya comp. We're seeing that change where Zarya is becoming a little bit more meta in OWL right now. Doesn't mean we won't see Winston comps, and I think one thing we'll generally see in general is we might see, like, some teams play Winston, some teams might play Zarya. We see Sigma on certain maps. So I think ideally, though, it's really good to see Shock be able to play that different comp. One thing we've seen from Shock, too, is they've tried a lot of the different comps on maps, whether or not it's working the best right away. I think overall what we're seeing is, like, really good gameplay out of Shock. I think they're happy with that. Obviously, there's a couple alt usage times that they probably weren't as happy with. But overall, I think they're going to be pretty pumped with that. So, what are your thoughts on that coming up this next match here, Flats? Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh. All right. Well, I think we learned a lot there. That was some really good insight again. And we are actually getting closer and closer to the next map start. And it looks like we're about 2 minutes away from the next map, which seems to be... I have no idea what map it is. We're just going to see what the map is when the timing comes up. We're going to see what it is. So. We're almost there. We're almost there. It's been... Like I said, the matches have been, delayed a bit. Because obviously they were getting everything set up with that, but we're almost to the first or second map here, which I wonder how this one's going to go. Titans played that well, I have to say. Now, that could be because that was the map it was on right there, but the question is how will this next map go? We have about 1 more minute 1 more minute, chat, okay? And then I'm ready to watch the match. I feel like the timer in between this next match was pretty quick, too. Because I obviously, with the delay they had there for, like, about 30 minutes, I think they're like, you know, let's get the next match going. Get the next map going. It was super unlucky, obviously. That was just completely unlucky that they weren't able to... There was the PC crash I think they had mentioned, so... Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Flats. I agree. We're almost there. We're almost there. We have about 30 more seconds, I think. And they're going to show the lineups, and they're going to go into the map. And now, I wonder who has map selection here. I forgot. Is it the team? Or not the map selection, but the side selection. Because I feel like if I'm Shock, I go attack on whatever map this is. So I guess this, out of curiosity, people watching, if you play a payload map, do you prefer to attack or defend? Do you prefer to attack or defend? I like to usually attack first because no matter how far you push the cart or how far you get it on a map, you then know how you have to play defense, right? So if you need to use a certain amount of ults or you need to be aggressive, I feel like playing attack allows you to know how to play on defense in comparison to if you start on defense first. Because then, like, you know, you might play defense a little bit differently, but if you play attack, you know how you have to play defense. So I always like attacking first when I play. I'll say a lot of people are saying attack. So, few people would defend, though. Few people will defend. I personally like attacking. And then one person who just says they don't play. All right. But I feel like that helps a lot when you can kind of know where you want to go on a map. And it looks like they are going to be starting the next map here in 1 second. I'm trying to wait and see what they're going to be going with. But yes, we should have everything up here soon. Here we go. We're on to the next map right now. You know, like I said, looks like Shock is ready to go and try to dominate this match, hopefully. That's what they like to see. But, yeah, I'm ready. I am ready. Here we go. Ooh, it's on Circuit Royale. It's on Circuit Royale. So I wonder if we're going to see Sigma. I will say, one thing we've seen on this map a lot is Sigma, but I haven't quite seen this week what the meta has shifted to on this map. But we actually have a really good map list today. Because Eichenwalde's up next, too, and I love Eichenwalde. But Circuit Royale is...
You know what's the best Hanzo meme?
Has been interesting, to say the least, because we're seeing Sigma on this map like a ton, which makes sense because the way the map plays, Sigma can do really well. So I wouldn't doubt it if we see like a Sigma mirror, but it looks like there's a chance we actually don't get that out of Vancouver. It looks like they might run like a Zarya comp. Obviously that can change before the game starts here in about 33 seconds or so, but it looks like Shock is definitely committed to playing this matchup. We're seeing Sigma be played, a lot more of it. So
it eventually happened. I'm like, this is just silly.
Yeah, a lot more of it.
A few hours, but like, it just looks.
You're a fan of the ricochet.
The ricochet, yeah, it's pretty.
We
funny,
shall see.
Honestly. It is. I like it. It has to be like a double headshot because it's not like a one-shot headshot with storm arrows. So
I'm ready.
It's pretty fun.
Do you miss the old?
Oh no. No.
No?
No. Do you like just randomly getting one shot as a tank from Scalar Arrow, Johnny?
Oh, that was the best. When like Hanzos would like walk into my Winston bubble and just like shoot it right below me, so I hit like 6 arrows into me.
All right, I lost it for a second. Okay.
We're watching a game,
so we are seeing both Widow and Ashe, which makes sense because Widow and Ashe play well with Sigma because you can have that shield, right? Obviously, there's less shields in Overwatch 2, which when you play
no Sigma.
Overwatch 1, that can be a little bit different. There's a lot more shields, a lot more spam damage. So you see how Sigma can be really good here with not only the close range spam damage, because I mean it's more like medium range, but it allows for both snipers to be able to pop off. Now obviously there's a lot that can happen with the map control. It looks like Vancouver's going for more of that Zarya play style, where they're going to go for like, you know, the Mei comp and the Genji comp and be able to do kind of like this more aggressive play style they want to play, which makes sense because you can kind of isolate Sigma and then get a free pick. But Shock is just going to keep backing up and buy as much time as possible because the high ground kind of plays into their favor, obviously, and the distance does. So What Shock wants to do is just keep spamming in, spam that damage, and then eventually they'll take the team fight they want, but it's not really a team fight, right? They're not playing a rush comp, they're playing a spam comp, which is, you see it a lot in Overwatch 1 where it's just like spam, 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 spam damage, right? So, Shock just kept backing up. Vancouver can't really get that early pick that you want unless they like hit like a crazy shot with Emongg.
Getting to a point where Proper
So,
Kilo cannot shoot you
Shock is okay with backing up all the way until...
Sorry,
I mean, if you look, by the way, we talked about Sigma. Already has ultimate. Already has ultimate because of all that spam you can do at medium range. Right? Zarya can't do that as much and has to play a little bit more passive and wait for something to happen. So, once again, once Vancouver gets aggressive here, you're going to see Shock use Sigma ultimate and more than likely be able to get not only the team fight, which they should get, but then they can also kind of push up again and have Bob and keep going for those long-range picks and then keep playing further back. That's a classic. That's a classic. Obviously, I play a lot of Sigma, and that happens a lot, which is where you try to go for the... I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought they were gonna win that team fight, but they did a really good play of just Nano and Genji in. And Genji gets a lot more value now off of that Nano because a lot of comps can't run that Briggs and comp because you can't stun anymore. So, I gotta say, that was just a smart play by Titans. That was a smart play. That was extremely well played. I fully expected Shock to be able to win that.
Didn't end up happening.
That was very well played.
Off of the sleep onto Finn. Nice little reset. Wait, Psycho going.
That was very well played.
Is a little bit low with no dash, however. Does fall, but the rest of the San Francisco Shock are in trouble.
Very well played.
Yeah, they got a couple of ultimates to get prepared for this next fight. It's pretty nice push by the Vancouver Titans, right? You want to get up this hill, preferably.
Let's see.
You got a Dragon Blade here. See if you can make.
You have Bob coming up, so I wouldn't doubt it if we see them go with an early Bob right here because they actually have pretty good vision on where they're at. So after the walls are down, or until, yeah, I was gonna say, as they get that map control, Bob is a really good play here. I wouldn't doubt it if Vancouver commits some ultimates here because this is their one opportunity to really get the map control. They do commit some of their ultimates, and Shock is very happy with that. They can stay on the high ground now. Go for some early picks.
Absolutely.
That was a really good kind of team fight for Shock, mainly because that was the one fight that Titans can win and get second point for free. Now Shock is able to maintain the high ground, they're able to play a little bit further back, and now this kind of plays more to how their team comp is. Titans are kind of one of those comps now that has to kind of build up. You know, they have to kind of start to right-click up to get grabbed, they have to kind of spam some damage in and hope they can get Blade really fast, or hope for a pick from Shockwave, but I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to get that pick as easily because of the sight lines they have on second. And Shock recognizes that. They're looking at kind of the sight lines right now and realizing that they don't want to give them that free pick so they can play a little bit further back. And Vancouver's kind of like, well, maybe we should just go try to make an aggressive play. And it looks like they go for that same play, but what a shot by Proper. What a shot by Proper. That was the one play Titans had, just like they did on first point, to maybe have an opportunity, and Proper just hit the shot you want to see.
Just as I say that, he grapples up.
Yep. But once again, we're seeing Shock play that like very passive play style because that's what the comp is. They can't be aggressive. The Sigma constantly has to back up because you can't frontline like tank and Sigma a lot of the time because they'll just be able to rush you and kill you. So they wait as long as they can. That is a good, well-placed Sigma ultimate. That should give them the opportunity to be aggressive now. Proper's able to get 2 picks right away. And that's just going to be a team fight for Shock.
Proper just kill it. Look at him dancing in his cam. He's ready. He's warmed up.
Proper is vibing. Wow. What a play. What a play.
Week 4.
I mean,
but he's already, you know, he's getting into the groove of things.
What do they even do when that happens?
Okay, now we see Shockwave on the hands, oh Johnny.
What do you even do? That's like when I play Junkertown in Ranked, and you look at the kill feed, and Widow gets like 5 picks, and you just go, yep. I mean,
if he can do it,
what can you do?
But can you do it better?
What a great play by Proper right there. That is what we like to see. That is what we like to see.
They are giving Proper utmost respect.
And if we look at Shock's ult charge, Shock's in a good spot right now. Unless, I mean, there's a chance that Vancouver gets a good grab here. and gives them this point, but I mean, with the ult Shock has,
God, they're awake.
this is going to come down to one more team fight.
Okay,
It's so hard to get up there. Like, it's just so hard to do that.
to use the
They
dash
have to,
to
like, take their
cover the
time.
distance.
They have to be
Well,
careful with the sight
available
lines.
for
Like,
Bobble up
this is
high
why
ground.
Shock
He's
is probably
lucky
so
enough.
happy with
Maybe
this
they're
team
just
comp they're
actually
running. This
waiting for
double
Voltage to grab
sniper,
the
just
surge
like,
in. There's one
sit back
percent
comp.
to go. Kalush
Yeah.
ends Master, who was trying to red at Lucio in the backline. Proper is still alive. Dynamite down.
This is just...
Now Sky Ripper in a whole
And if you look,
heap of
like,
trouble.
Vancouver
Kilo
can't do
takes
anything
his
here.
life, and with 20
There's no way
seconds
on the
to
map
go,
they can
this
go
could
to that they're
just
confident
be
in
it.
going.
More
You say, why don't they go up
just
the
a
side
Ripper.
stairs? Sigma can spam that out.
On the way out.
Why don't they go up the other
Shockwave
stairs, like
and
to the back of like the second point spawn? Because they can spam them out. And that's why Sigma's so strong here, especially on second point. And Shock realizes this. They're going to play aggressive. I wouldn't doubt if you see a grab come out in about 1 second here to try to get them right here. And there's the grab, but I don't think they can touch. Yeah. Just a great defense by Shock. That's exactly what we were expecting right there. It's... Sigma is good on first,
I mean, that's
great on
brutal.
second.
What a hold
And
that is from
if
the
you
Shock.
have your double snipers
Just
just popping off,
lights
this is
out
exactly
on
what
the
happens.
And I mean,
This is exactly
sure,
what
the
happens.
Vancouver
Just
Titans
unbelievable
are playing
gameplay.
this Soya composition,
Unbelievable
right?
gameplay.
So they don't necessarily have a big shield to protect any of the members, but still, like, just racking up the final blows.
Wonderful, wonderful job.
I need to take a look at the stats. And I mean, is this deadlift
Wonderful
potential
job.
right here for proper? That would be quite epic.
Well, could be. Right now, he's sitting on 9 final blows, 10 a limb, so only a small assist in there. Still doing a heap of work. Generally on Widow, of course, you don't have that much damage compared to someone like an Ashe, but still, 3.5k damage as Widowmaker, not too bad.
Alright, here we go. Keep watching.
3k, yeah, false double.
Let's keep watching.
Unreal headshot.
I mean, what do you even do about this?
And the most skillful shot of all. Oh, yep, there you go. Venomine killing Psycho and Scarippa ended with a body
That's an
shot.
achievement, by the way.
Amazing 4K.
That is
Proper
close to the Widowmaker achievement.
out
With
that
Venomine,
round.
I do
That
want to
was,
point out I got the achievement on
delicious,
Venomine.
Johnny. I don't know how
It's
to
no big
describe it.
deal.
Oh, fabulous. Yeah.
What can I say?
feel like we haven't seen
It's just no big
a
deal.
ton of Widowmakers
It's no big
just
deal.
straight up like pop off so far.
Oh, I recognize this
It's
one.
been a lot of Tracer, Genji, stuff like that, you know?
Damn, Finn going... Damn, Finn kind of crazy. Multi-talented. There's no way we are seeing this happen.
Yep.
There is no way.
They are running
What are you
Reinhardt.
doing? He's
Shock
on the
is running Bastion.
And he's serious about this one. Not
Honestly,
just
I wonder if this
out
is
of
like
the spawn.
to shred
He is
the
on
shield that they're
Bastion.
running Ryan. Right? Because you can go, you can just shred Ryan shield.
What a good day.
You just go Bastion to break the shield. I actually think that's why.
No shield.
Straight up. If they run a Ryan comp, just run Bastion.
It's taking over.
See?
Jaws.
Wheels mode.
Friend warned us all
He's
along.
going in. Well, that was it.
See?
He only
mean,
got kills
speaking
in
of this-
recon mode. I mean, why not? He's pretty happy with himself, so I think the rest of the team are more than happy with him picking whatever.
Wow. What
See
a
if we can
play.
get some forward positioning here. I mean, proper is up there. Some pot shots, you know?
Yeah.
What a play.
Well, they got Hanzo again. Oh, wait, that I hit the May.
We love to see that.
The right click on the Bastion, kind of hard to hit sometimes, but you can also
It's
do...
kind of nasty.
It is kind of nasty. Okay, Wheels mode. Go, go, go. Oh, they got to be careful. You got to be really careful of Proper. That's a lot of damage. You just have to wait and hide, and then as soon as he pops into
So this is
recon
good map
form, he
control,
should
I'd say,
be
by
good.
Proper right now.
Somebody's
Because
killed
if you
though.
look
Back
at
to
where
Bastion incoming. False
Vancouver
dead,
is, they don't really
unfortunately
know where they want
for
to
the
play.
Titans, but they're
Bastion's in
gonna
a good
try and
spot.
stem the bleeding
They
a
did
little
pop a
bit.
window there, but
Not quite so
Bastion's
lucky
gonna be
as
aggressive
Marcel.
here, yeah.
Through the window,
There's
Proper
nothing they
just
can do about that.
walks to Scarippa.
I love this strat by
And
Shock.
Shockwave
I don't know if
also
this was a
falls.
planned strat or
I
they
mean,
decided they were going to
Francisco-
run Bastion.
Okay. Turn the stream off. Turn
Looks like the
the
keyboard
stream
might have
off.
broke there for a second.
Proper just
It happens sometimes from time to time, you know. It happens.
That's
happens.
something you don't see every day.
Come on. Why the Titans of all teams? I mean, Psycho has this Blizzard, okay? So Titans looking to speed boost in here, right? But
I'm
you gotta
curious. You know what I
transcend
want
this.
to
You
see?
gotta get rid of
I
the
want to
clock.
see this
I
Bastion
can't
ultimate.
wait to see this Bastion.
They are so close to their
This is
Bastion
going
ultimate.
to
They
be
have
really
almost
strong.
every ult.
First Bastion ultimate of Overwatch 2, what, in the Overwatch League? They get some kills. He's a couple.
All right, here we go.
The percent there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, window. Oh my god, Master, get out of the way! He's so low.
Oh, wait a second.
Okay, finally. They find it their hand in this game. Unfortunately, Shockwave is dead.
Wait,
The
is
Transcendence
Shock
is gonna be
committing
good to
ultimates
stop a
now?
lot of that damage from the Blizzard, but I think the damage is really already
I'm
been
excited
done.
to see the
Oh,
Bastion
there
ult.
it is. The mortar strike.
Wait,
it's inbound.
are they bashing ulti from spawn right now?
Payload, mind you.
AC 130 above.
Down. No, not quite.
Did they hit
AC
anybody?
130 goes a little bit missed. No tactical nuke.
What is happening right now? It's a straight up deathmatch.
Die somehow to Violet. That's not great. They're going to have to back off that wall to disengage.
I think Shock can actually take this. They have a soldier ult. Yeah, they're going to be able to take this.
A little bit too high up
I think Shock takes this because they had to use Lamp really early too.
Shockwave in the 1v1.
Oh yeah.
Pretty low. The Dragon Strike interrupted. False trying to save the game, but Proper has ended it already. A 3K on the Bastion and a W for the San Francisco.
And just like that, Shock is able to take the second map.
The
Now
second
that was what we
map in
expected,
the
right?
series.
The push map was really
Looking
close.
like a clean
Outside of that
3-0.
one team fight
The
for
Titans,
Vancouver on first point,
unfortunately not with,
Shock absolutely just dominated that map.
0-6,
Absolutely
maybe,
dominated that
6-0
map.
for the San Francisco Shock at the end of
Absolutely dominated that. Wow. That was great play. That was just great play. Holy crap. What'd you think about that map flats? Like overall, like what was your thoughts about that? Yeah. No, I like the Bastion pick too. How did you feel about that? Do you feel like that breaks the Ryan shield a lot quicker, so it's harder for Ryan to make a play? That's a good point. That's a good point. You're surprised Ryan didn't just charge somebody off the map and say they traded? Yeah, I don't know if they were going to do that. That didn't really... I don't think there was a way they could have done that. That's what you would have done? Oh, okay. I mean... maybe they will do that next time. Maybe they'll do that next time. So we have about 3 minutes till the match, the next map starts. I think it's going to be in Eichenwalde. I think it was Eichenwalde. Now, I wonder again, does Shock start on defense? Because I think Shock is... I wouldn't doubt it if we see Shock start defense, especially if they feel like they can full hold. Then they can have a much quicker attack, because if they attack, then they have like 3 minutes on the clock. It can go either way on that, so... We will see. We will see how this goes. We will see how this goes. Hope everybody's been enjoying the match today. I definitely am happy with it. I think it's been a good start for Shock here at 2-0. Obviously, you know, for Shock, this is something they really want to win. And they want to make sure they 3-0 this to guarantee they're pretty much number one seed. I mean, they are number one seed, I would say. So for Shock, they just want to make sure they win this. And then, yeah, we have pretty much... I think next week is going to be the playoffs, if I'm correct. I think it's going to be the playoffs, but I could be wrong. But I'm looking forward to it. But we have about 1:30 left here. Hope you're all been enjoying. Obviously, we're just chilling here. Hope you've all enjoyed the co-streams in general. One thing I've really liked about them is, I mean, it's just fun. And it's something that I've been doing these, believe it or not, this is the second year we've done co-streams, and I hope everybody's enjoyed them. Obviously, it's cool to be able to watch OWL and kind of watch it with Chad and just kind of hang out, and it's been pretty awesome. So hopefully Shock can get this 3-0 right here on Eichenwalde, and yeah, we can just, that'll be the match. So yeah, I know Shock is in the tournament already. Like, they're guaranteed in the tournament. I was just about if they had the number one seed to it, which I definitely thought. I think they already were guaranteed the number one seed, unless there was like, technically not, because I think Dallas still plays. So let's say that Shock lost, like, I don't know how it works with like tiebreakers, but I'm pretty sure if Shock had like, I think Shock just wins number one seed pretty much no matter what now. I don't think there's any way that would change. I can't remember exactly though. Did Shock? Let me see week 1. I forgot. I think no matter what, Shock would get it. Because they're the only team that's undefeated right now. I don't think they played, was it week 1? Shock played matches? Yeah. Yeah, Shock would have had it, and they are going to have it, so. Yeah. For them, it's going to be pretty pretty important for them to win this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Whew. All right. Looks like we're getting closer and closer to the start of the next match, which should be popping up here in 1 second. We're going to be going on to the third map, which, if Shock wins this, that is the last map of today for Shock. And actually, I think OWL is, yeah, it's the last match of OWL today, too. Tomorrow, obviously, there's more OWL matches, but of today will be the last one, so. We will see what happens. What do you think? Do you think Shock is going to be able to win this 3-0? I think so. I think, and we do have the lineups being shown here in a second, so you're going to be able to see who is playing for Shock. It looks like Sam will be playing on this map, which isn't a surprise. We've been seeing Sam come in on some of the maps, especially when they want to run more of that projectile comp. And Sam has played well. Sam has played well. So it's going to be hopefully a good matchup for them, and hopefully they're able to get this dub. We'll see if Vancouver is able to maybe take a map here, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Let me see. Let me see. Eichenwalde. I mean, the next two maps Shock are good at too. So I think, I don't know. And OBS Junkrat is here today. I know people were wondering if OBS Junkrat had joined.
Oh, yeah?
There's OBS Junkrat as I say that.
I'm gonna
that prediction,
pass on that one, mate.
Are you sure?
We have seen OBS Junkrat for all 6 matches of Shock. When we see OBS Junkrat, Shock wins matches.
So I got some data for you.
I remember in Gladiators, OBS Junkrat joined in, and you could tell Shock was ready. They lost that first map when OBS Junkrat joined in, but they were like, you know what? If OBS Junkrat is here, we can reverse sweep this, and they did. After that Midtown match, they reverse sweeped. Right there, OBS Junkrat just joined. I'm gonna guess this is gonna be a 3-0. Now that OBS Junkrat is there, it is time. It is time. It looks like Shock is going to play attack first.
Maybe there was some rumors.
So, I'm ready to see how this goes.
That time, maybe they want to make another speedy attempt at breaking their own records. You know what, the good old 112. Well,
right.
This match so far is 18:09.
I'm ready.
So theoretically,
I'm ready.
if they end this match in 1 minute and 14 seconds, they could break their own record.
Let's see. Here we go.
I hate to burst the bubble there, Johnny. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah.
They're on offense first. So.
Well, there you go, viewers. Now you know.
Now you know. But
here we go.
It could be
it's time.
Quite a quick wrap up, but I mean the Titans still had some fight left in them. We saw
Shock is playing the Reaper comp actually. I was talking about how they might go more of a projectile comp, but they actually are playing Reaper.
The Vancouver Titans,
like a Soldier Reaper Zarya comp, which I actually did not expect. Like I said, we've been seeing a lot more Zarya. This has actually been interesting because we haven't seen Winston played in these matches today on this match. It's funny how that worked. How initially it was more of a Winston meta, and now we've seen a lot more of the Zarya meta.
I think Marcel was up there trying to deal with him. And
pretty slow start for the first part of this map for Shock, but I think once they get the map control they want, I think Shock will take this first fight, and then it might be really hard for Vancouver to retake it. But one thing we're seeing is Vancouver is still playing aggressive. They're not going to be like, oh, we're down 2-0, let's start to play a little bit more like defensive in our comp. No, they're playing aggressive, and that's what you like to see. That's how you start winning rounds and playing well, is when you continue to play that way, because, you know, if you play defensive, it gives Shock too much map control, because Shock wants to play aggressive. One thing I'm also noticing is you can tell the players are getting a lot more used to the ping system, and I think the ping system is really good. I think over time it will be used a lot more, and I think when we get further into Overwatch 2 being released, I think we'll see the ping system used a lot, because I feel like it has so much information there. Oh, wow.
Violet goes down. Kills Sky Ripper, but the damage from Shock.
Vancouver actually making some aggressive plays here. They might actually be able to take this.
A couple of kills on them. Don't lose the 1v1. He got it.
Wow. These first two team fights have been pretty interesting.
Although Proper somehow still killing people. There you go. He's eventually cleaned up. But still the Shock failed to make that push work.
Yeah, I mean, they could go fast here, theoretically, I suppose, knowing that Masa doesn't have the sound barrier to provide. But, well, never mind. Look at him go. Oh, my goodness. That was fast.
Let's
He's
see.
already back. But still, a good execution from the Vancouver
I think
Titans.
Shock does have Soldier ult here. Yeah, they do obviously have it. I say I think they do. Like, we can blatantly see they have it. Vancouver's playing aggressive.
Nice grab.
Can they follow up off that with the beat? They can't. But now Vancouver can just counter with beat, right? And they do.
Psycho tried
They
to
do.
make that work even with a bubble on top of him, but it was a little bit too late. The Titans still
This has been a very, very strong start by Vancouver, I gotta say. Wow. This has been surprisingly tough for Shock. The one thing Shock does have going for them right now, though, at least in my opinion, is that they do have grab. And Titans have no ultimates outside of Soldier ultimate, which I think that if they play this correctly, they should be able to not die to that, but actually Titans now have built Nano. If Vancouver's aggressive here, there's a chance that they can actually win this if Shock doesn't use their ultimates first. Vancouver's not letting them play that. Oh, wow.
They have this Graviton Surge, they're going to push in here. But the Nanovisor to counter it, perhaps?
I mean, why not? Yeah, but Shockwave is anti, so he has to play a little bit more safe. He's so low, but still jumps.
This is actually interesting. I wouldn't doubt if Shock Nano's Reaper here. That's exactly what they do. Because they need to keep that map control, and the only way to do that is just by Nano and Reaper. Proper is really close to their ultimate too, which means they probably can just Soldier as long as they can keep him alive. Yeah, I think Shock should take this, and if they don't, then I would be very surprised. What a flank.
He's got the visor already pushing the supports down from the high ground. One is escaping. Oh, no way. It's absolutely massive. Stop Whopper from just decimating the team. False comes up clutch, and in the end, Violet and Finn are the only ones left. Overtime ticking down, and the Titans are going to hold Shock on.
I'm going to be honest here. What a surprising defense.
That was so well executed
out of
Titans.
Titans.
This is what we wanted to see from this roster. We knew they could commit to this Zarya composition and the execution, the ultimate rotations. Like, it was on point. You kick it off with a Nano.
Now here's the question.
You secure the frags. You
the
don't
Shock
get
hold.
Again, Masa.
The Shock hold.
Violet arguably there with the Sunburst themselves. And I mean, if you just the cams as well, like the players are celebrating, they got a real chance of winning this map and maybe kickstart some momentum for this franchise, Jaws.
Wow, that was unexpected.
Yeah, imagine your first win coming from the San Francisco Shock. Like, that's insane.
Honestly,
3 more maps to go.
Yeah, 3 more maps. Hey.
Imagine just Shock just holds this for 4 minutes. Like, that 88.9% was enough for them to win this. Imagine.
89%?
That was surprising. It felt to me that
just set up
Vancouver decided that rather than play like a really passive play style, that they were just going to play aggressive. Win or lose, if you play aggressive, they're like, you know what, let's try that. And Shock actually is like, you know what, why don't we just try a little bit of a different comp here?
Yeah, interesting.
They're like, why don't we just kind of go what we've been working on this map, see if we can win with the Winston comp and go from there. Now, this could go in favor of Shock, but one thing I will say that works for Titans with their comp here is that the ults they will have, Vancouver could lose like 4 fights in a row, but as long as they build a grab, they should be able to take this. But obviously, Shock doesn't want to lose this map. And you're going to see Shock play somewhat aggressive at the choke. So, we'll see. If Vancouver plays as aggressive as they did, they can definitely take this. And they are. Like, they already have Reaper going in. And, wow, they already get an early pick.
Sky Ripper with a good nade.
An early pick.
So low, and now Shock
oh, no.
The flank. Oh, yeah. Doesn't really want to dice with that sleep dart from Finn. He's been absolutely insane to start the season.
They are able to trade, though.
DPS for DPS. Psycho goes down. Sam's going to be
but see, then Vancouver played that really passive. See, on defense, they were playing really aggressive, so Shock is very happy with them doing that, which maybe it makes sense, though, right? Because obviously you can't just go in off of every pick and get picks, right? But I feel like there was definitely opportunity with the map control they had with Soldier to be able to be more aggressive on both sides of the map, and they did it. So
if you're the Titans, no need to like rush things here. And again, like if you fully commit into a team fight early here and you lose, you really give the Shock a chance to build up those Dragon Blades and Visors, right? And
well, I think that like the thing about that though is too is like with these team fights, it takes a lot longer to build ults. So Shock is just kind of chilling. Oh no, but they did go in here aggressive. Okay, it did work out with the bubble. I forgot how good Winston Bubble is now. We've been playing a little bit of Overwatch 1, and the Winston Bubble dies immediately. They are being aggressive. They are still being aggressive. If Shock gets their nano right here, they can win this. But actually, that was what I was talking about. Vancouver is playing aggressive.
In fact, the entirety of the team is actually trapped off.
Shock has some time here though. They have nano. They're gonna have to give it to Genji. They have to nano Genji.
Fox finishes off Violet, and it's up to Proper to do something. He's nanoed, he's got the blade, but he is antied. Sky Ripper with a quick left
there you go.
to the jaw, takes
Vancouver did it though. They played aggressive. They played aggressive. They played aggressive. That was good play. They played aggressive. It's exactly what we wanted to see. Well, we didn't want to see that. Obviously, we wanted Shock to win that, but that's how Vancouver has to win that. Just play aggressive. Play aggressive. That's what that was the adjustment they made. They said, you know what? And yeah, I mean, Flats is very surprised by that. Very surprised by that. That was surprising. I honestly thought they were going to be able to take that. The last two maps we just saw were like they were playing well, but Vancouver started to play that new play style that we didn't see out of them the first two maps, and that was well played by them. That was very well played by them. My guess is that Shock is going to play. My guess is that Shock will probably come back with a very similar play style to what we saw out of Titans, right? Like, we saw Titans go in there. They got that early pick. And I was like, you know what? Maybe they could be a little bit aggressive there. They were like, you know what? Let's just wait a second. And then Shock had an opportunity after they didn't get aggressive to be able to get that. But then right when they got nano, they said, go right in. Win or lose. They went right in. They got that. That was great. That was, I mean, Titans, like I said earlier, Titans has a lot of really good players. It's going to come down to how they play as a team. And that was, out of the first three maps that we've seen, that was that shows you the teamwork they can have. They played well. They knew what they wanted to do. They played an aggressive play style. And I think if Titans can continue to do that, you might see more and more map wins. And yeah, I mean, my guess is though Shock's going to make some really good adjustments. So my guess is Shock's going to make some pretty big adjustments here and then just play aggressive. So we'll see. We'll see. We have about 2.5 minutes till the match starts here. A little bit of time. A little bit of time. I mean, I think they expected to have a bit better of an attack. And then once... It happens sometimes, especially in I think a comparison I can make to like even ranked games is like, if you start off with those like that first two team fights, and you start to have like that confidence as a team, you start to make more and more plays, and then as those plays work, like you're like, you know what? No, we can hold this. Like we can absolutely hold this. And it happens quite a bit in comparison to like, okay, you know, they won the first team fight, but Shock got 3 picks. Like they were just playing it well. I mean, I know I keep saying that, but Vancouver played that well. About a minute 30 left till the next match is going to start getting into the next notification of stuff. Where it's going to show next notification. I mean, like, it's going to show the next, like, you know, the rosters and the maps. They usually have about a 3-minute break in between. Well, I think it's 5 minutes break in between, but that gives time for them to, like, show the new lineups and things like that in general. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But, damn. Damn. That was something else. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Titans played very well there. Yep. They played very well. Surprising. Definitely surprising. Next two maps, I think, are Lijiang and the Toronto map. But I want to say that Shock is going to play this next map really well. At least we hope. At least we hope. What was that, Flats? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, we'll see. All right. Should be starting here in a second. I think they're going to be doing... Maybe it's a bit longer of a break in between. Maybe it is after the third map. They have a slightly longer break. They're showing the... Really showing the Titans like roster reveal video or like roster video. So I don't know if that's just like a little bit of a segment beforehand. Okay, they are showing the rosters now, and it should be up here shortly. So, yep. We'll see. We'll see. Let me check one thing here. This is interesting. Okay. Looks like they're going to be showing the rosters now here in a second. We'll have that pop up. And then, yeah. I'm curious. Do you think they run the Zarya comp now, or do they run the Winston comp? Because I feel like... Oh, wait a second. We might see... I can't remember. Are we going to see Doomfist on one of these maps? Because I know on Lijiang that some teams will run Doomfist, but I don't know if that's changed over the last week and a half so of like the meta, because obviously Zarya was not played at all. Now we're seeing Zarya in pretty much every matchup. So I'm actually curious to see if we do see Doomfist on this map. I know on one of the rounds, some teams do like to play Doomfist. My guess is that Titans will definitely stick with the Zarya comp, and Shock might... No, Shock will probably run the Zarya comp on Control Center also. I feel like the Zarya versus Zarya matchup on Control Center makes sense for them. They might run Winston, but I don't know about on Garden, though. I think they might run the Winston comp on Guardian. Or, I mean, on Guardian. On Garden. I don't know on Night Market. But I'm definitely... It's been interesting to see this kind of shift in the meta. It's been interesting to see the shift.
Into this one. You know, I think we're all pretty shocked that
all right.
up full holding.
The Shock have a win rate of 50% or above on every control map they've played against the Titans. 9-2, 82% win rate all time. I do feel like that could be a little bit different though now in Overwatch 2, that it plays completely different. Like Overwatch 2, the way it plays is a lot different with how team comps are, and it looks like Vancouver is obviously going to stay with the Zarya comp. It's what they're comfortable with. It's what clearly they can win with, and it looks like unless Shock changes this last second, Shock is going that full rush comp we saw last time. Which is what I thought they might mirror the Zarya here, but clearly their strategy on this map hasn't shifted. They want to run a rush comp. They want to run a very quick comp. It's really hard for Vancouver to get on any of those targets because they all have mobility, right? Like, who do they go for in this comp? Probably Lucio or Echo, believe it or not. Because Winston can just bubble off most of the oncoming damage.
Almost not quick enough.
Oh, I see.
Huge pick already by Proper. I mean, that's exactly what they want. Shock is playing aggressive. They're going to take the map control. They're going to get the point for free here. But this rotation by Vancouver was actually really decisive and quick. And that actually was a good rotation.
Alfie, I think. Okay, Shockwave on the Torb.
Shock? I mean, I was going to say Shockwave going Torb here.
Absolutely.
Torb does have some survivability in this comp, is able to obviously put the turret down, and has, most importantly, the survivability. When you use that cooldown, it can help a ton. And you have a lot of survivability. You can play really defensive too, and survive most team fights. And your ultimate can be a really good defensive ultimate too, believe it or not. They're able to trade there, but obviously, if Shock loses their Winston, but Titans lose their Ana, Shock will take that most of the time. Because there's just way less heal. And they're going to be able to come back in time.
Yeah, it's tough, right? If you want to make a case for the Torbjorn, and again, I'm not, but I think what they're trying to do is to Shock to dive aggressively with this Lucio Moira.
Well, that's exactly what's happening. Is if Shock is going to dive aggressively, Corb has the survivability, and they can't really get as much off of that, but they still can win off of it. That was a really good grab. That was a really good grab. Kind of a surprising team fight, but it looks like Shock's also okay with just kind of being like, we're going to come back with our ultimates and take this next one. But that was another aggressive play. Like, we're seeing really aggressive play.
I mean, you got the turret in the back of the point, right? So now, if Shock is forced to engage,
a lot of aggressive play out of Titans.
The turret
looks like Shock is probably just going to get aggressive with Moira ultimate here, or Sam's ult. It's going to be one of the two. There's the Moira ultimate. Yeah, they're going to be really aggro. They're going to be really aggro. Vancouver actually was able to save beat though during the most of that, so now they're actually able to come back with their ults. They do go Zarya here. Okay.
And they're ready to brawl. Sam with double bubbles on himself almost.
Sam's fine with that because Sam can survive the ultimate. We saw that actually happen against Gladiators too. And speaking of against Gladiators, Proper also got that really good Reaper ultimate. So one thing that Sam likes to do that we saw against Gladiators was that when Reaper is about to ult, or has the idea that Reaper's going to ult, will go just any hero to be able to survive the Reaper ultimate, and then the Reaper ultimate loses that value. Obviously, you trade the Echo ult, but if you're trading the ultimate without losing anybody, Shock is able to counter. Shock has no ultimates now. Shock knows that too. They're either going to play really passive or they're going to dive aggressively to force OP. They have no ults.
They got some stuff to work with.
So they know they probably have grab and beat coming up. So Shock's either going to play really passive or really aggressive. And we're actually seeing them play somewhat aggressive. They were able to get beat out. Then we're probably going to see a Nano coming out of Titans here with a grab combo. I don't even know if they need the Nano. Yeah. That's exactly what Shock wanted though. It's really hard to win that team fight, especially when Vancouver is stacked on their ultimates. So for them to get that grab out, they're happy with that. Now they know that Vancouver probably will use Nano here on Reaper or Zarya, depending on the energy. And Shock might take one more team fight here aggressively, but they do have beat. They might just use beat when they Nano and then get aggressive off of that. One of the two is going to happen. I just don't know. It depends who makes the first play. They're also close to Moira ult, so they might just build Moira ultimate. Yeah, they're getting aggressive. There it is. They use beat.
They're heading straight towards False, who gets Nano.
Yep.
Maybe overextend a little bit too far.
Not surprised to see that, but now they're going to Moira ult, and the Moira ult should keep them alive during this next push. Obviously, unless there's a really good play by Vancouver, which they try to go for him, and yeah. Well, the reason why that was such an easy play for Shock was because once Vancouver had to use beat the last team fight, they knew that with their own beat, it would basically be a free pick, and they didn't really, I don't think they had tracked any of the major ultimates out of Titans at that point, so they said just be aggressive and go for it. Obviously, there's an opportunity for Titans to come back here with Reaper ultimate, especially if they're able to survive long enough, but my guess is that they'll probably be fine. And they are. They are. I think. Which actually might be a great ultimate for them. And yeah, they're not able to go to point. Also, one thing we're probably seeing a little bit more of, and I've noticed it here, is sometimes before you would have your tanks touch point, with there being one less tank, it's a lot harder to go to the point for that like second of stall, and then don't stall it for a while, and then all of that stuff. Really good play by Proper there too. Proper was absolutely dominating on the ultimates. So.
Again, they baited out that
absolutely dominated.
Disengaged as quick as they could. Now, you know, Sky Reaper got picked in the
all right.
process, but that's
I was curious to see what they were going to run on Garden. I want to see what Shock runs here.
But
they're on Doom right now, but they might switch. I think we saw them do this last time too. But there might be a good play from Doom here.
Like, well, why don't they play the Soldier instead of the Torb? Well, welcome. It's an entertainment league, okay? It's about laughs.
They're running Doom.
And the Titans are doing.
They're running Doom. I wonder if there's like a really good rollout out of Spawn that allows for Doom to actually dominate on this part. And actually, what are we seeing here? We're seeing Diva. We're seeing Diva be played right now. I'm curious because they did mention a little bit in the blog a while back that Diva might need a little bit of work on some of the comps. Because Diva kind of is in this spot right now where you...
That's the second time now. Shockwave just like...
I wouldn't doubt if they buff Diva. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I feel like you kind of just sit in the middle as Diva, and you kind of wait to be aggressive, but you also have to play defensive, which is kind of how Diva is played in 6v6 too, but it's a little bit different when you kind of can make that decision in the team fight, like, oh, I can go help my main tank, or I can go play defensive on my backline. Now it's kind of like, do you play aggressive? Do you play in your backline? There's a lot of decision making now on Diva, so I wouldn't doubt if you see some changes, or at least some slight tweaks to how they're going to be doing D.Va in Overwatch 2. Could be wrong. They might keep D.Va the same way, or we might see D.Va be played more and more over time. It's going to be one of those things that's going to take a bit, because obviously... Yeah. Great start for Shock, but also a really good pick for the Titans. They're actually able to flip the point.
Titans do flip, yeah. That's all Shockwave's doing. Still on the off angles, but now he's dead.
But Shock should be able to get it back, unless they get a res here. They're not going to be able to get a
position to recap.
Yeah.
Only a little bit of percentage lost.
So far, not a bad start for Shock, obviously. They would have liked to keep that extra 10% that they just gave up, but ult-wise, they still have some pretty good ults. Echo ult already coming out of Titans. But
providing that defense matrix,
yeah, I'm not really sure here.
To get value when you're up against a Tracer, a Doom.
Let me see.
An Echo, right? So
maybe an aggressive Moira.
To work with. Maybe they can make something happen.
Dupe available. There's the Coalescence. You dupe Moira again,
we'll see.
Maybe the Doom Fist. Unfortunately, you can't dupe the Echo. Tactical Visor with the Nano, met with the sound barrier.
Just play defensive here. If Shock plays defensive, they'll be fine.
Extremely far back. It's actually getting shot in the back.
Yeah.
Proper trying to go for a big
that's what they did.
Pressure Shockwave out, but
they don't. They're kind of low on ults though.
Valkyrie, sorry, is going to help
like very low on ults.
The team stay alive. Psycho trying to find kills with the Doom Fist. Earns himself an ult. He used it just in time to get the damage down. Finn ends Sky.
But Shock is able to get the pick onto Ana. Okay, they're going to trade that off. I wasn't quite sure what's happening there. I'm going to be completely honest with you. There was a lot happening. Shock will just regroup here. They have Echo Ult, so they'll probably be aggressive with Echo Ultimate. I don't know who they're going to go, though. I think ideally they're probably going to want to go D.Va. Then you can have that. You can have 2 tanks on that. Or they might go Soldier, but I wouldn't doubt it if you see them go D.Va. Like, that's probably who they're going to try to go. You can be aggressive.
There you go. Dupe straight onto the Soldier.
They went 76. Okay.
Duel it is.
So that was the 2 options they had.
Straight out. Not so much of an ego duel anymore as Proper joined the front. Pulse bomb in hand. Wants to dodge the D.Va. Spots one Mercy. But
and see what I'm talking about? Where D.Va ends up in that spot where they're kind of like in the middle. That's basically what happened right there. It's just such a... You end up in this spot on D.Va where you don't know if you want to be aggressive or if you want to peel for your back line, and then you end up kind of in the middle because of the mobility and kind of what's being played currently, and that's what we just saw happen.
He's going to conjure up some magic right here, Jaws.
You just kind of ended up in the middle. And you're just like, well, what do I do now?
It's about to get nasty.
Gonna be an aggressive play by Titans here.
Here he is.
I wouldn't doubt if we see a good D.Va ultimate coming out.
Right next to him. He spots the Ana, the pulse goes in, goes wide, jumps straight into Proper's bullets. A beautiful sleep. Sky Reaper's not going down without fighting. In fact, Proper took so long to do anything that the Titans were able to capitalize.
That was an aggressive play by Shock.
The Titans just ran over.
But if we look at the ultimates on Vancouver, I think that's what Shock wanted, was they either win that or Vancouver has to use most of their ult pool, and they did. I wouldn't have doubted if we see an aggressive Doom ult and do it a Moira ultimate right after, because the thing about Doom ult now is it has a pretty big range and it slows them, right? So if we see a really well-placed ultimate out of Doom right now, they can just go in immediately with Moira ultimate. As I say that, they get a pick on Moira. Wow. What a play by Vancouver there. That was extremely aggressive. But
I don't know.
Oh,
Dude, that seems a little overzealous.
Dude, if he gets his pulse.
He's got the pulse. Straight to spawn
with you.
Throw it in. Does no damage. Oh, there it is. Woo!
Actually did damage.
Actually kind of nice that they tanked that because they can get a bit of extra ult
okay.
charge.
Titans have no ults now. Shock doesn't really have much either. They have Moira, which is a huge ultimate here. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Proper is here.
Yeah, and there we go.
Just got turned into
there it is.
The San Francisco Shock now 1 up. The Titans have only got Master to rely on for heals.
There it
is. Has been demeched. I know you said your astrology wasn't good, Johnny, and I believe it because Psycho was not the star of this game. The San Francisco Shock.
And it looks like Shock is going to take this.
Take the map and the series.
You know,
first seed.
I have to say that was going to be a tough one. I mean, I didn't expect it to be 3-0.
Solid match.
You gotta say, though,
Titans,
all things considered, the Titans played fairly well, though. They had opportunities to win, and I think when they look back at some of that matchup there, they were probably going to be pretty happy with that. They have a lot to work on, too, but, like, there was a lot of good play by the Titans there. Like, be able to take a map. They had some good team fights. Obviously, they had, like, a map like Circuit Royale that just didn't play into their team comp. But overall, very surprised in 3-1. Obviously, Shock has some stuff to look at now, kind of look at how they want to adjust their Eichenwalde. I think they probably look at that and go, well, maybe we should have played it this way, or maybe kind of played it a bit better. But Shock is going to be 6-0, and they're going to be going into, I think, the playoffs next week. If I'm correct, it's going to be the playoffs. And I think that puts Shock at the #1 seed, guaranteed. They're going to be pretty much the only, I mean, not pretty much, they are the only undefeated team this time around. So, great play by Shock. Flats, what do you think about that? Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So, wonderful, wonderful job by Shock. What can we say? Definitely an unexpected 3-1. I think most people would have predicted 3-0. I don't think there was probably many people who had a 3-1 prediction for, obviously most were probably going for Shock, but a 3-1 prediction, there probably wasn't many of them. And, you know, Vancouver's going to look at that, be happy with taking a map and being able to go and hopefully work on that. And next time they play matches, you might see a bit of a stronger Titans team, because, you know, this is the start of Overwatch 2. This is the start of some of the matches. They have some really good players in that team, and I think they're going to be able to look at that and go, okay, we have some things to work on. But they were able to, yeah, get a dub there. So, good job by Shock. Obviously, we're very happy to see that. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I think usually we do have somebody come on here, but I think this time around we're going to be hopping off pretty quickly here. So I want to thank everybody for watching the co-stream today. I hope everybody enjoyed. I appreciate y'all. Make sure to sub to the Shock channel if you haven't. Like the video. Hope you all have an amazing day or night. With that being said, I'm going to hop off. I'm Jeff. That's also Jeff. And we will see you. I don't know when the next co-stream will be, but we will find out probably over the next week or so. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing one next week, but if not, we'll see you for, I think, the June 16th matches. So we're going to be hopping off. Yep. So I hope everybody has a good day. And this is the part where we stare at the camera. Thanks for watching.